Shout out to DJ Deadpool for the beat. And welcome to another edition of L.I.F.T Tutoring. I know I haven't been around in a while for my podcast, and I really need to be doing these more because I really want you guys to go subscribe to my podcast on Spreaker.com/L.I.F.T Tutoring. And I just appreciate all of you guys' support. Over on YouTube, we are making headways. We are getting closer to 2,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can go to youtube.com/C/Jeremy White Education. Or just search me, L.I.F.T Tutoring Jeremy White, and I'll pop right up. Please subscribe to my channel. Lots of fun things are happening in the world of education these days because we are, or you may have started already, your spring break. And, you know, a lot of parents, they really look forward to spring break because spring break, we've been stuck inside during the winter months. Some of you people in the South may not know, know what that feels like, but for those in the Midwest and the East and in the mountains all across this country, you know that you can get a little bit of getting stuck inside and really wanting to be outside. So spring break is like that first big break of the new year to really go outside and explore and be able to go to the beach, be able to go to a lake, be able to go just run around outside. And it's a very important time as far as education because it's smack dab in the middle of the final quarter. And it's kind of hard to go for spring break and then come back and kind of finish out those last 6 or some odd weeks of school. Now, I'm here, to tell you that over spring break, you should definitely let your child be children, or let your child be a child. Let your children be children. Let them have the opportunity to take a break. I was listening to a syndicated radio host about 2 weeks ago, and she had a caller call in, and the caller said, well, I don't allow my children to play video games during the week. And she said, why? She said, when you go to work, don't you want to be able to relax? Don't you want to be able to unwind? Why would you take that away from your child? Now, again, I don't know the ins and outs. Is this child playing games and not doing their work? Are they, not doing good in school? But to her point, it's you have to allow children to have a break also. So during the spring break, really let them be themselves. Let them get out into the world and run around and ride their bicycle and even play games and watch movies and get ready for Avengers Endgame. If you don't know about it, oh my goodness, where have you been? You haven't been on this channel, that's for sure. And just allow them to be children. Because now, am I saying, forget all of reading and things? No, stay in your habits. Read with them every night. If they read for leisure, read outside. They can read on vacation, things like that. I'm not advocating to stop doing what they've been doing, but everybody needs a break. Just like you need a break, I need a break. We all need breaks. So taking a break is not bad. Taking a break is actually beneficial because it can get them refreshed, and then they can close out the school year. So things to think about when you get back into the final quarter, okay? Things to think about from a kindergarten through second grade perspective. There will be tests done on your child probably somewhere between the beginning of May and the end of May. And they've been working the whole year to get to this point, especially with their reading. Now, here's what you should not do. Do not think that if you haven't been in good habits this whole year with reading with your children every night, or making sure they're studying their sight words, or making sure they're doing their phonemic segmentation, they're segmenting their words, and they're able to pick apart their words, and they're able to show their creativity in their writing, and to show you how much they've learned, and how the title and the author and the illustrator and front and back of the book and left to right, and being able to have one-to-one correspondence with the words. If you haven't been working on that the entire year, you will not be able to get your child to do that by the time the testing comes around. And if that's the case, I'm not here to make you feel guilty for doing that. You can start, and I implore you to start that as soon as possible. 15 minutes a day reading, 15 minutes a day writing. Um, them reading to you, you reading to them, you helping them write, them doing free writing, creative writing. Uh, if you haven't been doing it, now's the time to start, but do not kid yourself that that's going to be enough to get them to their appropriate grade level if they are behind at the moment. Also, another thing to think about, hopefully, in all of your schools and school districts, if your child is up for retention at all, if they need to be held back, hopefully your child's teacher has already brought this up with you. Now, I always tell some of my parents who have either asked me about retention or I've had to talk to about retention, I try to tell them as soon as possible, like around February, that if we can't get this up, your child may be eligible for retention. Um, but as far as it goes with kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, it is so much more important for them to be able to get their reading foundations, to learn how to read, to be able to flip it backwards and forwards, and nothing catches them off guard because they've been so learned in it, and they're starting to master certain reading strategies and certain writing strategies, and they're able to really create and show you and demonstrate their learning. It is, if your child is up for retention and they are a couple of reading levels behind, a couple to 2 to 3 reading levels behind, and your teacher is suggesting retention, first of all, understand that the teacher is not the enemy. The teacher wants the best for your child. Um, and the school district is not the enemy. The school is not the enemy. I do not have retention meetings lightly. I think it'll be in the best benefit of the student. That's why I would have them in the past. So go into it with that open mindset. I will tell you that there have been children, even my first year of teaching, there was a child that was retained from kindergarten and he took kindergarten with me the next year, and um, it was his best year, and it catapulted him, and he was reading on grade level, and now he's about to be in third grade, and he's doing excellent. But it's because we didn't push him to what we knew he wasn't ready for, and at the time, the his parents were not particularly happy. Um, and they voiced their opinion very clearly and strongly. And then the next day, after they had actually sat down with their child and saw that he was deficient and that he had a lot of growth opportunities, they come back. They came back and said, "Okay, my child doesn't know anything. Let's do kindergarten again." It is much easier to get it right in the beginning than it is to get it right later on. Case in point, there was a child um, that I had to think about retention for, and I was in constant communication with her parents throughout the year, and there was an afternoon in February that I gave her father a call, and I said, I mean, you need to start thinking about retention. I'm going to do everything in my power. We're going to keep doing what we've been doing. Your child is a hard worker, but here's just some things to think about. This is what I've noticed. This is what I've been communicating to you the whole year, and I want you to at least have it in your mind. And he responded with, and I quote, "Mr. White, that makes me extremely angry, but I'm very happy that you said something now, because when I was younger, I had trouble all through third grade. They didn't realize, meaning the teacher, school district, this teacher, whoever it was that was in charge, didn't realize that I needed extra attention. And I didn't get caught up until eighth grade. So if your child is in kindergarten, in first grade, in second grade, and your child's teacher is talking about retention, now's the time to do it. Um, and please do not fall in the trap. Again, please do not fall in the trap of, well, I'll take my child to a summer program and I bet I can get them caught up by the time school starts. Okay. And the longest program, it may be, I don't know, 8 weeks. Um, this summer programs are very good for keeping a child's reading level even. They may come in higher than they left out, but mostly it's to give them that teaching so that they don't lose what they've already acquired. So again, if you haven't started habits of reading, sight word practice, writing, all these things up to this point, then do not think that one summer program is going to get them all the way caught up, especially if they are um, they're very significantly behind and they need more opportunities for growth. So please make sure you talk to your child's teacher and really get a good understanding, and do not go in defensively if that's the case. So um, when they get back from spring break, you know, just trust all the foundation that you've been doing the whole year, and they will be ready for their reading tests, and they will be ready for their end of the year test. And even with third grade and up with their EOGs, just trust that if you've been that your child's been putting in the time the whole year, whether they've had frustrating days, whether they've had overcoming days, whatever it is, as long as you've been putting in the work, then it's not something that you need to be extremely nervous about. Um, just make sure, especially during EOGs for the third graders and up, just make sure that they're eating on time, they're getting a good healthy meal, they are going to bed on time. Those tests are, I will leave my opinion at the door on those tests, but those tests can be grueling because of how long they are. So that's something to think about when it comes to spring break. Let your children be children. Give them the break that they deserve because they've been working so hard this whole year, just like you would hope to have when you take your vacations, so that they can come back refreshed and able to tackle their tests in the month of May. And remember that because we are right towards the end of the school year, if your child's teacher is talking to you about retention, go into it with an open mind and don't go into it with a defensive mind, because we would not be suggesting this if we did not care about your student, or we did not care about our students and your child. Remember that. Okay? So, um, thank you for listening. Please subscribe please follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/L.I.F.T tutoring, and follow us on YouTube. Type in L.I.F.T tutoring Jeremy White, or youtube.com/C/Jeremy White education. And we will catch you in the next podcast. Have a great day.